Now, if I told you that a student group at a prominent U.S. university had funded a new scholarship that is only available to people who are at least 1/4 white, would you be outraged? Well, actually, a group funding this scholarship hopes you are. Boston University College Republicans have privately funded a $250 scholarship that is available only to Caucasians. Now, in order to apply, applicants have to submit a photo and answer some questions about their ancestry and what it means to be a Caucasian American. Blood's going to shoot out of my eyes. Obviously, a little controversial. But that's exactly the point, according to the group. They are trying to provoke people into talking about the greater question of why blacks and Asians and others are offered race-based scholarships and programs like affirmative action. A lot of people who agree with their message believe that maybe this is not the best way to go about it. Jason Mattera, he is the spokesperson for Young Americans Foundation. Jason, your thoughts on this scholarship?
Yeah, well, Glenn, thanks for having me on, and I applaud these students for taking a bold stance against racial preferences on the college campus. Myself, I'm a Puerto Rican, and I have more advantages than the average college student open to me in admissions, open to me in scholarships, just because of my ethnic blood. And these students have a shocking proposal to shed light on the inequity and unfairness of racial preferences. And I actually agree with their tactics, because right now, me and you are speaking about it. They have a national dialogue about this. The students have been doing tons of radio shows, and their dean of students at Boston University is organizing a forum where everyone can talk about the merits, pro or con, of racial preferences. So I applaud them. It was a very bold stance on their end.
So let me take it a couple of ways.
Sure.
Because, you know, getting people to talk about things is great. But let me play devil's advocate on this. In a lot of ways, this is really dividing people and I understand causing some real controversy in dividing the races yet again at BU. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, that's the point, is racial preferences on Boston University, on most colleges, for that matter, in universities, they're constantly dividing people and categorizing people on the basis of race. Not what they achieve, not their personalities, not their character, or their merit. That's the point. Is it offensive to divide someone on the basis of race? You better believe it's sensitive, it's divisive, and that's what they're trying to say, that they don't want white scholarships. I don't want white scholarships, but they don't want black scholarships, they don't want Hispanic scholarships. They want people to get rid of classifying people on the basis of their skin color.
Okay. The Black Student Union, which I think goes to make the point, because if there was a white student union, I would be upset and everybody else would be upset. The Black Student Union says these guys are not taking into account the historical aspect of what has happened to African Americans, et cetera, and the inherent disadvantages, historically speaking. Your response to that?
Yeah, well, that's very infantilizing. What they're saying essentially is that they need a handout and help from the white man to get in places in society. That's obviously not true with the prominent blacks and Hispanics that represent us today. But even more so to the point, proponents of affirmative action, what they do is condone the very same power of discrimination that enslaved them or discriminated against them, and what we fought a civil rights movement about. Not only do they condone or they commit the same act of discrimination, and they condone it. They tacitly accept it by offering their own form of discrimination. If you want to move past race, you don't continue to have race as a plus factor. You're just saying, yeah, we have a national blight on our history, but let's move past this. Let's keep going forward. By constantly reminding and reflecting on that in a negative way, you keep people as victims, and you don't treat them as people.
You are starting to sound suspiciously like Martin Luther King, at least the part of the speech where he says judge people by the content of their character.
Oh, heaven forbid, heaven forbid.
30 seconds. Your response to the Republicans, because Republican parties are saying we have nothing to do with these guys.
Yeah, the Republican Party in Massachusetts, RNC officials, they're a bunch of panty wastes, in my opinion. Their manhood was neutered a long time ago. Instead of taking a stance with these kids and saying, yeah, racial preferences are wrong, they're attacking them. They've been attacked more by the Republican Party in Massachusetts than attacked by the leftists. That's insane.
You know what? I got to tell you, I hope you become a politician in the future, because you're just tremendous. Thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you, Glenn.